CTBK is more than just a full-service accounting firm. They are one team with an innovative approach to accounting and rise to each new challenge with collaborative problem-solving skills. CTBK goes above and beyond by lending helping hands in the Buffalo and Niagara community through volunteer work and donations, and is partnered up with Victory Sports for 2020 and 2021 to keep kids in the community active. The professionals at CTBK are determined to help individuals and businesses succeed. Whether a large corporation, a small business, or somewhere in between, call CTBK at 716-630-2400. Again, 716-630-2400, and see what CTBK's one-team approach can do for you.
Hey, everybody, I want to let you know that Amherst Pizza and Ale House will be showing the pay-per-view fight on Saturday night, Wilder versus Fury 3. That's going to be 10 o'clock until close for that entire pay-per-view card. No cover charge. You have to be 21 and older, though, to go. $1.50 off all the signature drinks. They have indoor and patio seating available. So make sure you check this out. It's a great place to watch the fights, whether it's MMA, the boxing. The Amherst Pizza and Ale House has these pay-per-views, and you should go check it out. This is 55 Cross Point Parkway in Gettsville. It's easy access off of the 990, off of Millersport Highway. And the Trainwreck Sports guys are going to be there with a live pre-fight show. So be sure to check this out. It's going to be a big event. And even if it's not Saturday night, make sure that you go to Amherst Pizza and Ale House to watch all the college and pro football games, once recognized by ESPN.com as Western New York's top spot to watch sports. A lot of energy in this place. It's where Jonah Bronstein and I go when we're done covering games on Sunday. Stop in or call for takeout and delivery, 716-625-7100. One more time, 716-625-7100. Amherst Pizza and Ale House for Fury Wilder 3. Welcome to another edition of Tim Graham and Friends, brought to you by CTBK, CPAs and Business Consultants. I'm Tim Graham of The Athletic, here with Jonah Bronstein, as usual. And we're joined this time, everybody knows him as the Ruston Bearcats defensive coordinator, Kyle Williams, in his Ruston gear. This is, as we were saying right before we came on, a great opportunity for Ruston to get a little bit more pub in Western New York for recruiting purposes. How's Ruston doing this year, Kyle?
We're doing pretty good. Kids are playing hard. We're 4-1 right now. Last 2 weeks, we've beat two defending state champs in different classifications. So right now, it's going pretty good, but that could change minute to minute dealing with high school kids. So you never can tell.
I understand that they're going to be storming through that door behind you any minute. So we'll maybe get some high school flavor. We'll see what these kids are up to.
Yeah, you never can tell. You might want to avoid that.
What's the biggest adjustment for you in coaching these kids? I know you have a bunch of kids yourself, but they're younger. But to go from NFL, all these self-starters, to having to deal with motivating kids, what was that like?
Well, I think getting to know them, understanding what maybe pushes one doesn't necessarily push the other, building relationships with them, letting them know that, they can trust you, not just football wise, but, kind of being a part of their life. And really, as far as the football aspect goes, it's not really about what I know. It's what they know and what can they do and perform and be able to play fast and take to the field. So that's really part of. That's one of the bigger adjustments, I would say, if you get into high school football. If you come from playing a long time in the NFL, I mean, you're just naturally you're going to see things, and things are going to stick out to you that aren't necessarily going to stick out to your 15-year-old linebacker or, this guy. So really the challenge of it is, can we be simple enough to play fast and be good, and where the kids can communicate and feel confident in what they're doing.
6 Pro Bowls in your 13 seasons with the Bills. What is it like to capture these kids' attention compared to, I'm sure you noticed, the other coaches? Are they always looking to you to see if you agree with this coach, or do they just automatically say if Kyle Williams tells me, then it's gospel? How do they respond to somebody with
To
such
be
a
honest
pedigree?
with you, you would be pretty surprised on how many of them like have no idea about my playing career, uh, any of that kind of stuff. I mean, and I don't run around talking about it with them or like shoving it down their throat and be like, "Oh, you ought to listen to me because I was able to do this, that, and the other." That's not really how I operate. Um, so you would really be kind of surprised how many of them have no idea. It's literally almost weekly. A kid will come up to me and go, "Coach, I didn't know that you XYZ, whatever it was." I'm like, "Yeah." And then one of the kids that knows, like, "Man, where you been?" Like, it's really kind of shocking, to be honest with you. We've got a pretty good group of kids that respond to all of our coaches. We've got a great coaching staff. A friend of mine, Kenny Wright, who played 9 years in the NFL, is also on our staff, who's from my hometown. We have a lot of guys who played college football. A couple played professionally. A couple of coaches have been coaching 25 plus years. So we have a pretty seasoned staff that the kids respond to, whether it's me or not. But to answer your question, it's a high percentage that like honestly have like no idea that what's going on.
You're just one more grown-up dumbass.
That's exactly correct. That is 100% correct.
Yeah. But then there are the kids, I'm sure, that worship anything that a coach has to say too, right? Whether you played in the game.
Yeah, I
There are
mean
kids.
that's with everything else. I mean, you have some that are totally bought in that this is that they eat, sleep, live, and breathe it, and they're fixing to do all that they can to be a part of it. And then obviously, just like every other team or everything, you have others that go the other way that you're trying to herd in the right direction.
How much does coaching satisfy your desire for competition and help you ease getting into retirement?
It's very rewarding. I think the main thing for me is building relationships with these kids and like having kids like call me like, "Hey, coach, I need a ride to this or I need something." And it could range. I'm telling you, it can range from one thing like to as extreme as you can imagine. Having been doing this here for 2 years now, to be a part of a lot of them's lives and hopefully know that I can be a consistent force for them, while also making them try to do the right thing, holding them accountable to something. So I think the main thing that's rewarding for me is not necessarily what happens on Fridays when we play, but it's the daily day-to-day interaction of hopefully influencing them for the better.
Just so I can get a mental picture of this, Kyle, are you on the sideline during the game? Are you up in the booth?
I'm on the sideline.
Okay, so what's it like for you when you're walking out onto the field right before kickoff? Do you feel anything, or is this because it's kids?
No, I think when you've gone out and pregame for 13 NFL seasons and you do that, and really I'm not going to say that it ever like got old or it didn't dawn on me what was going on, but you get comfortable in those situations and you really just don't think about it in those terms, where if you like when you first get there or these different things are going on. So like for me, game day is just another opportunity to go out and play and do that. Now obviously our kids get fired up and they know that I can be pretty intense about some things, and they're good to respond to it. But I enjoy watching our kids go out and be successful. Like I said, we've got a pretty good group of kids that have really bought into like, hey, trying to be great teammates, enjoying success together, and just trying to build a culture of like team and work hard and all that stuff. And the kids have really responded to it.
What are your Sundays like? Are you able to engage much with pro ball? Or are you in the film room breaking down?
Yeah, typically we're here game planning, getting ready for games. Actually, there's a TV right there in the office. You can't see it. If the Bills are on, I'll turn them on. Everybody knows they can't change the channel, but it's on mute. And when I look up from my computer or whatever, if we're in between meetings, I'll check the game and watch the guys play and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not glued in like as much as I would like to be. But that's a good thing about this primetime game coming on Sunday. I'll be done by then, and I'll have a chance to plug into it.
Well, you mentioned the pregame routine and that you got to be comfortable in those situations. What do you think your mindset would be in Arrowhead Stadium Sunday night? That's not a normal pregame condition. Knowing what happened last season, where do you think you would be in terms of your energy level heading into this game?
Well, I do think, when you get an opportunity to go play a night game, whether it's Monday night or Sunday night, there's a different feel in the air. There's a different energy in the stadium.
Not Thursday night, because Thursday night sucks.
No, Thursday night. Thursday night sucks. It's terrible. I mean, everybody there is just trying to survive at that point. Sunday night, Monday night is a different story. Just the energy is different, all those things. But then at the end of the day, after the ball's kicked off, all of that kind of stuff fades away, and you're going out there and competing. And I think that's one of the main things for those guys this week. It's week 5. At the end of the day, you're not going to win or lose the Super Bowl today. I think it's a great measuring stick to see where you are, see what you're doing well, see what you need to do better, that type of thing. But the build up to it is always fun. It's always fun to go out and pregame and it's night and you can just feel the buzz, you can feel the energy. It doesn't take much to kind of to flip that switch and get ready to go.
What are your general thoughts on this game, Kyle?
Well, I think it's kind of like I said, I think it's going to be a great measuring stick at this time of the season to kind of see where you are. Going against Mahomes and those guys, what they're able to do defensively, how the Bills have been playing, as of late, been playing really, really well. Like I said, it's just an opportunity to go out there, compete, and say, all right, this team's played in the last couple Super Bowls. They beat us en route to one. Where do we stack up as far as where we are right now? I think one thing I know about Sean is he'll preach about continual development, getting better as the season goes along, and just saying, hey, let's see where we are right now. Let's go out, try to win one game, compete our best, see where we're at. And then, like I said, you're not winning or losing the Super Bowl come Sunday, but it's a good spot to kind of see where you're at right now, what you need to work on.
Being this an opponent the Bills lost twice against last year, how important is this game for the mental and the confidence to know that maybe they can beat them again in the playoffs?
Well, I think if I know any of those guys that are still playing, I don't think that there's going to be a lack of confidence if they were to lose the game. If they go out and they compete and they're in a tight ball game and you lose it, I don't think that's something that's going to derail them where it's going to linger for a week or two. I think you have a pretty resilient group there. You've got a bunch of tough, competitive guys that believe in one another, which is probably the most important thing. So I don't think that, the outcome is going to change their mindset one way or another, honestly.
Unless things get really out of hand.
Well, I think if they get really out of hand, it could be a wake-up call to like, hey, there's a lot of things that we need to work on. Maybe we haven't quite arrived yet. If they need that wake-up call, I don't really foresee something like that happening, but you never know. You've seen crazier things happen in Arrowhead. I think I was still playing. Maybe they boat raced the Patriots on a night game, a primetime game there. And I think New England maybe went on and either won the Super Bowl or obviously played somewhere around it. So I don't think, like I said, it's not the end all be all this weekend. It's a good measuring stick. Don't take it for anything that it's not. But you're obviously going against the defending AFC champs and the year removed Super Bowl champs. So it'll be a great test for that football team.
Again, I don't want to assume how much you already said that you don't get to plug into the Bills games as much as maybe even as fans. Probably you're probably even more ignorant than some of the diehard fans on what's going on with the Bills right now. But this is 2 shutouts in the last 3 games, and yes, it was against Houston and Miami, but those are NFL teams. Some would say barely, but they're NFL. Houston is still an NFL team anyway. To be able to do that heading into this game, I remember having a discussion with you one time about momentum. And a lot of people in the analytics community don't think that momentum is a thing, because it's like it's just either good or you're not good. But what about momentum, game to game or week to week momentum? The fact that obviously the Chiefs and the Bills are tied for the NFL lead in points scored, but here you have a defense that's pitched 2 shutouts in the last 3 games. Does that mean anything to you, or does that mean anything in the locker room heading into this matchup?
I believe in it. I think that momentum can be a confidence builder. I don't believe that it's just a week to week deal. I think that all you really have to do is look at how games unfold sometimes in the NFL. I mean, whether it's by penalty or whatever it is, you give up a big play, things shift, things change. And I don't know what the exact percentages are, but a lot of times those end up going down, they end up scoring the ball, and momentum shifts and energy changes and confidence changes, stuff like that. So I'm a big believer in, like, hey, we're playing well. We're gonna be fully confident in our preparation and how we can perform. So they can walk out on the field in pregame and feel totally comfortable and confident and believing in one another. I think that's a big thing, and I think that's where they are right now.
Anything stand out with the defense from what you have seen about why they're playing so well? And maybe also, well, I'll leave it at that, and then I have a follow-up question.
Well, I just think that when you look at it, you see Coach Frazier and Coach McDermott's, thumbprint, over that whole team from front all the way to the back end. I mean, they play relentlessly. They don't make mistakes. They're lined up. They're ready to go. They have great discipline with, like, their eye control, their alignment in their jobs. Very, very sound. I think that's the key to winning football, and that's something that has been there since Sean and Coach Frazier got there, that they've just built on it their whole time there.
A guy who gets a lot of criticism from fans because he doesn't stand out in the stat sheet, Star Lotulelei. And he wasn't on the team last year when the Chiefs beat the Bills in Orchard Park and then in the AFC Championship game. He's played very well through the first 4 games. What impact?
Well, 3 games, because he didn't play in the game.
Right. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. He has 2 sacks in 3 games. His career high is 4. He's getting really good pressure for a guy who's supposed to be a run stuffer. Your thoughts on Star Lotulelei and what difference he can make as kind of an X factor the Chiefs didn't have to worry about last season?
Well, I think the deal with Star is if you're not standing next to him or playing next to him, or you're not one of those linebackers standing there like looking at his rear end, you're not going to have a full appreciation for what he does. I mean, having been down in there in that and knowing, like, the kind of presence he is in the middle, as far as how you have to account for him, disrupting blocking schemes, all of that kind of thing. Maybe it doesn't show up in the grand scheme of stats, which is what people are going to want to look at to determine somebody's value, which is probably the total worst way to look at it. He's a difference maker for not just what's going on the line, but everything behind him, and then it's a chain reaction all the way down the defense.
Well, I want to ask you this, Kyle. I don't know where you stand on it, but it's a topic here. Obviously, it keeps coming up, and it is kind of I mentioned an X factor in terms of Star Lotulelei in a good way, but this is a variable that a lot of people are worried about. What are your thoughts on the COVID situation and the Bills, vaccinations, all that stuff, and with the NFL protocols the way they are? How would you, as a teammate, what would your concern level be regarding, hey, this can come up and get us at any time, and we have no control over it?
Well, I mean, I think you said it. I mean, you're looking at whether it's vaccination status, you are vaccinated, you're not. I mean, it's really an uncontrollable thing that they're all just kind of living through and trying to, I don't know. I mean, trying to compete and trying to get through. We're doing it on a much smaller level here with all of our kids here, trying to manage it, trying to protect people, trying to stay safe, trying not to get it, trying to play a football season at the same time. So it's a moving target half the time, and I can't imagine doing it on a day-to-day basis of trying to compete at the highest level there. So I'm honestly very happy that I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, it's. I'm sorry. I just snorted into the microphone there. Yeah, but as a captain on the team, how do you think you'd handle it?
To be totally honest with you, I'm not sure. I was always all about the team and our success. but I've also never been put in a health situation where I had to lead, where it was in a pandemic or a health situation. So that's really hard to verbalize that, I guess. I don't know that I would sway much off of like, hey, being a team guy, but also I really don't know how you manage that properly. I mean, you're talking about personal choice with people, where they land on a situation or a line, and really that can cause more division than you can bringing people together. And if you can't meet people where they are, you're going to have a hard time leading, no matter what the situation is.
How can that affect the locker room if 85% are one way and there's another minority in the locker room that has a different opinion?
Well, I just think that any time that you want to take a hard line and not be able to see something through the lens of somebody else's eyes, you're going to have a really difficult time leading or being a good teammate or whatever the situation may be. So I think being sympathetic and being able to see both angles of whatever is going on in somebody's life, and understanding that they're not you and you aren't them, and being able to love a guy and be with him and be a great teammate no matter what. So I think hard lines are way too common now, and not seeing people's perspective on like a myriad of bunch of different things. So I think hard lines and being just so edged with people is a tough thing if you think you're going to lead people and in the proper way.
Kyle, last question for you. I'm not going to ask you to turn into Tom Hanks or Rudy Rudiger here and actually get into full blown acting. But what would your message be? You were the pregame speech guy. You were fiery. You always set the tone. Fans always loved to see your pregame speeches when they would be played later after the fact. See how fired up you got everybody. What would be your message pregame for Sunday night?
Well, sometimes that changed depending on who we were playing and when we were playing. But really, for me, looking at it, it would just be about us and what we were doing and what we were there to accomplish, and not about who we were playing, where we were playing, what time, kind of a nameless, faceless opponent deal. And really just continue to be who they are. I mean, you can tell that those guys love being together. They love competing and playing together. They're a real team, and just continue to perform at the standard that they've set, and enjoy being with each other, and go out and just lay it on the line. It's really hard to just clue in exactly what the message would be without being there day to day, but I'm sure it'll be something like that.
In perfect timing, you have a student walking in behind you. I appreciate you giving us time before you have to be with your team. I just, for the record, you're not teaching, are you? You're just coaching.
I'm teaching advanced calculus.
No way.
No, I'm not. No, I'm
no
kidding.
way.
I'm sorry. No, I'm actually handling like all of our compliance stuff for our eligibility for our kids for the Louisiana Athletic Association. So I handle all of that stuff and then coach football. So
all right.
No advanced calculus yet.
Good luck.
I'm glad
recruiting.
you were so quick to say no way. I appreciate that vote of confidence.
That was all right. So one super sarcastic guy to another, and somebody who was around you for many years. I read that one quicker than Matt Milano. So yeah. Well, good luck with everything, Kyle, and good luck with your recruiting in Western New York. Hopefully Ruston can land maybe. What do we need? What do we need in Ruston? Do we need receivers or linemen? What do we need?
We just need some tough kids. We'll be all right. We got a pretty good group. Maybe the Bills will get one of these kids I'm coaching now. That'd be a great story.
Kyle Williams, thanks for doing this.
All right, guys, anytime.
The financial needs of a business go beyond tax and attest services. That's why CTBK goes beyond accounting services and offers outsourced solutions through their affiliation with CFO Solutions Plus. These additional services allow clients to focus on their operational and long-term strategic goals. Trust CTBK's outsourced solutions to provide cost-effective, value-added financial services tailored to your company's needs. Call CTBK at 716-630-2400. Again, 716-630-2400, or go to ctbk.com to learn more about CTBK's outsourced solutions.